Education Global Action Circle Showcase. Woo, 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 woo. Everyone can make as much noise as they like in this moment.
Woo!
It's our chance to be celebratory. And obviously we'll be listening deeply to everyone's projects that they present. But in the moments that I'm hosting or anyone's, well, I'll give permission from moments I'm hosting are very welcome to make noise. Next slide, please. So just a little bit about what we are. So we're two different merged groups. We were a peace education group and we were a relational and inclusive education group, GAC, so a global action circle. And these were consisting of young people from all over the world, looking at these themes and their own projects and their own learning in terms of changing education or community projects and their locality. But as it went down through the year, we decided to merge. So we merged into a peace education and a relational and inclusive education group all in one. But I thought, why don't we share some of what Youth by Youth says about both these groups before we get going. So what is peace education? Peace education is the knowledge and understanding of fostering widespread acceptance amongst everyone. The aspect of growing values and qualities which will enable everyone to live in harmony with their peers. It teaches peace processes such as negotiation, reconciliation, non-violent struggle, collaboration, acquiring values, knowledge, attributes, skills, behaviors to live in harmony with oneself. And it's the use of treaties and laws that can be used to reduce levels of violence. So that's just some of many ideas of what peace education might mean. If you have any of your own, please feel free to put them in the chat. Any other ideas of what peace education could mean? I'd love to hear more ideas, so please feel free to put them in at any time. And next slide, please, April. Thank you so much. So nice to have an assistant in this very moment. So we have a relational and inclusive education, and that's the other half of our group. And Youth by Youth describes it as learning that prioritizes our interconnection. It embraces diversity of lived experience and learner autonomy. It rigorously questions the status quo and recognizes that we can learn from many different sources and in many different ways. I think that this weekend so far, this learning festival has been incredibly relational and inclusive. I'm sure there's always more to grow in that area, but I feel we've done a really good job so far. And it also focuses on the processes by which learners grow together and learn how we can all be with each other in more beautiful ways. Oh, it's so nice. Please feel free to write your ideas of what relational and inclusive education looks like. I'd love to hear more. We'd love to hear more ideas. So please add to this. This is just the bare bones, really. It's just the bare bones of what Youth by Youth, kind of how they define it. So yeah, that's it really. I just wanted to say hello to everyone and then kind of bring these themes to the forefront, but I don't want to waste too much time. It's really important that we focus on the presentations at hand. So who is it to go first? Or do we have something else to focus on before then? I haven't quite got the agenda up in front of me.
Sakshi, do you want to take it away with introducing our first speaker?
Yes, Mohini. Just a second. Sorry, I was just shifting from one place to another, and there are some noises over here. Extremely sorry for that. So, okay. So, April or anyone could please prepare these slides if they have it. Okay.
Sorry for interrupting. You can see 2 minutes on your screen. Please disregard the timing. The Zoom, the breakout room is not going to close.
Right. Thanks, Domi.
Thank you. how do we transform war zone through education? So this is the slide prepared. This is the presentation that has been prepared by can you just tell me who was this person who prepared this presentation?
Okay, yes, let me help you, Sakshi. So our first speaker is Rachel. Rachel, are you there? Could you say hi first to our participants?
Hello. Yes,
All
I'm here.
right, yes. So we have Rachel. Rachel is an educator in emergencies and currently working in DR Congo in schools by supporting teachers with professional development to deliver quality education in emergencies. So today, Rachel will be exploring behind every internal displacement persons or refugees that there is a human story. So again, let's take it away, Rachel. Let's show some hands for Rachel.
My question is, how do we transform war zone through education? And this is a learning question that is still going on because I personally, or the people that I'm working with, we can't solve it in a day, in a year, something that keeps on going. And so, just to begin with, did you know that 7.6 million children aged 5 to 17 are out of school in Congo and trapped in the cycles of war and are denied an education? Actually, 7.6 million, it's more than a population of Ireland. And so we see that in war zones, education is often the first casualty, but it's also a key to breaking cycles of violence and also poverty. If you can picture this, like having a childhood without a school, without hope, like just being born in a community whereby people don't go to school, there are a lot of things that you'll miss out as a person, knowledge, skills, they will rob you like your childhood adventures. And so this is the reality for millions of children in Congo. And actually, I was sharing a reality this morning that we have a school, and just behind it, there was a military camp. And so even when the children are there learning, they always hear all sorts of noise, that is gunshots and anything that they use to train. And so today that camp was bombed, leaving our students like getting out of the schools, and we are not sure when will they come back to school because of that trauma that happened today. Yeah, thank you. You can keep on scrolling. And so, yeah, as someone who advocates for education, I think that they are being robbed of their human, like their fundamental human rights. And everybody here in this group, I believe that it's the power of education that enable us to be here, to connect with people, to communicate with people. And so a lot of children, 7.6 million, this is the right statistics as of 2024 that they're being robbed. Now, when we dive into the problem, we see that in war zones, they rob children the right to education, and this not only like affect their present life, but also their future and their future generation. And just going into my solution, you can scroll up. We are introducing a new idea. It's called a chalkboard guide. And we always say here in education in emergencies that a scalpel is to surgeon, whereas a board is to teacher. And so we see that when children in emergencies are at most risk of not achieving their foundation learning within the first 3 years, and due to insecurity, we see that the schools are often closed, kids are always out. And so we are introducing what is called the chalkboard guides. And so our solution is to help children in emergencies context achieve foundational learning. Sorry. Somebody can ask me why foundation learning. So like the context of DRC Congo is that they get 3 years of the foundation learning, and here they get to get the skills of literacy and numeracy. And statistics actually shows that when they start their schooling for the 3 years, it will make them stay in school for the rest of the 6 years in primary school. And so, like, for example, when we see a tree, we know that it's the roots that are holding that tree. And so for us, it's foundation learning, making sure that these kids are getting skills and also being educated on peace building as young as they are. Because if I can now go to universities and I tell those university students about peace building, they'll be like, yeah, we've seen war, everything. And they may not be like evidence to come and help with peace building. But when we start with children and then use that education, giving them the right to read, skills, and also to get the knowledge of why it's important for their country to be at peace. So with the chalkboard guides, these are just one page per lesson structured teaching guides that contains everything that a teacher needs. For example, from administrative details to how, where, and what is put on that board and to do in that lesson. So for example, if children were learning in a school and then tomorrow accidentally or unfortunately they found themselves in an IDP camp, the teacher, when you give the teacher that chalkboard guide, he or she will be able to deliver a lesson because all the materials are there. And so today I'm inviting everybody to come join me to make sure that we make impact to the lives of these children. And also training a teacher, it's like a $20 for teacher to get these chalkboard guides to be printed, and that will be on mathematics, French, and Swahili as the literacy and numeracy, to get literacy and numeracy skills. So let's partner to help these children and give them hope. Thank you so much. And that's my email.
Okay, guys. So this is our very first presenter, that is Rachel. And now we transit to the second presentation, that is from Farhana Ahmed from Pakistan. Farhana will be presenting about her works in bringing learners at autonomy. So over to you, Farhana.
Hello everyone. My name is Farhana and I am from Pakistan. My learning question was how can we bring learners autonomy and how can we reimagine education system, making it more inclusive, engaging, productive and interesting for all. Now, I would like to start from the quote: "No one is born a good citizen. No nation is born a democracy. Rather, both are processes that continue to evolve over a lifetime." Um, from my experience, sitting in the chair for 9 hours obediently till the end, from my childhood till the end of my teenage, to listen to teachers continuously and not being able to engage in fun activities made me question our education system. And I wanted to change this concept and promote the education system which is more innovative and interesting. My project is based on providing platform to students where they are helped to become self-dependent. They get to envision learners' autonomy and avail scholarship opportunities. All the education activities I have been part of, and all the education activities I have been engaged in now have given me the experience that collaborative activities were the only one which benefited me the most. So so I build a platform where I communicate with my peers, and we search and hunt for the opportunities like scholarship for our masters or PhD, and we teach the students which are from age 5 to 15, so that they are able to learn English and they are able to communicate at the larger scale. And we search for the jobs so that we become more self-dependent, and uh, we can take our own responsibility. So I would like the people who are like-minded, those people who are addressing the same challenge as me, I want to approach them by discussing our common grounds and by building trust and understanding. So I also want to provide them with the help they needed to get where they wanted to get with their goals. So that was it from my side.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for. Okay, go for it, Mohini.
Okay, thank you. It's actually so many people want to thank you, Fahana. Thank you so much for sharing your presentation. We can get some reactions, really honoring all of the learning and the work and the practicing that went into this. Yeah, so thank you for sharing. Also noting that we will have time for questions at the end if any arise. But next up, we have Billy. And next up we have Billy Turner, should I say? And Billy will be exploring why relational approaches to learning and working together, less hierarchical, can be transformative through personal stories and sharing. Over to you, Billy.
Woo, woo, woo. Thanks, Mohini. Thanks for that little little introduction there. I like you bringing in my surname. I always forget I have a surname. Um, but yeah, this is my presentation. I could show you more about my project, but I really wanted to talk about how important it is to be relational with each other and to work with a relational approach. So in my culture, at least, my schooling and the organizations that I'm surrounded by have a hierarchy, and there's a leader, and then there are people underneath who work, and there's a ladder of, I guess, people who are less and less in charge of spaces or have a more of a voice. And so, yeah, I wanted to talk a bit more about how I would love that to change in my culture and the importance of building strong, positive, and authentic relationships in education and organizations and how to do it. So next slide, please. Thank you so much. So yeah, relational education is a group of people working together, becoming community, learning from each other and the relationships that they form. So it's all about relationships, basically. Next slide, please. And then there's the relational approach. It's taking a relational approach to education or work. It's about putting relationships at the core of everything we do. So when we're working together, we're building relationships, whether we like it or not. And positive relationships are going to mean community and better, stronger outcomes in general. So really, ideally, we'd all be working more relationally in various schooling, education, and organization spaces. Next step, please. Next slide. So how can we feel like we're working in a space well that's relational? It's all about bringing in spaces and activities that help people feel like they belong, help people feel that they're valued, and help people feel welcome. If we can make people feel they belong, are valued, and welcome, we're much better able to create a relational space. Next slide, please. So there's been some pictures that I've shared in this presentation. These have all been spaces that I've worked in relational. They've had a relational approach. So I've had my primary school, a storytelling education centre I went to, a LGBTQ cooperative that have bookshop and community space, and an amazing land skills social justice collective. But I really wanted to talk a little bit about Lewis New School, my school when I was 10 years old. I actually had the reason why I'm so passionate about relational approaches and relational education is because I went to a school where in my country my parents didn't have to pay. It's just like a school that the government fund, and this school was not a great school for me because it was very much focused on exams, and the teachers were called like Mr. Surname, and I didn't feel like I had very good relationships with the staff in the school, the people that were meant to be like harnessing and nurturing my sense of my learning. I didn't feel like they were doing that at all. And then one day I decided to move schools. In fact, actually what happened was a boy in my year took something of mine and I bit him on the hand as a kind of a way to sort of get him away from the thing that he'd taken. And the school decided to enforce punishment in which I was excluded for the day. And there was a lot of like repercussions of this experience, which meant that I felt that I really needed to move to a more nurturing environment. And I ended up moving to this school here. This is a photo of my class, actually. It might have been a few classes because in this school, there was only 6 of us in my year group. I think you can just about see me under the big round thing on the wall, but it's really quite, I was always the tallest one. So I'm the tallest one in that line of kids. And this school was amazing because it worked relationally. A lot of it was to do with projects and project-based learning, but the teachers were called Matthew and Amanda. And in my culture, that's really unusual in England. And it was amazing because I felt very much a part of the space. A lot of us were really encouraged for the strengths that we had, and it was incredible to see the healing that happened in this school. Many kids going from having had really difficult experiences in other schools and going through this transformation in which they were so deeply held, and there was such a strong sense of relationality. So yeah, this school really changed my life, and I honestly don't think I'd be the confident person I am today without it. So very glad that relational education has really been a huge transformation for me. Yeah, next slide, please. So yeah, lots of different ways we can approach relationality. There's lots there, but mainly it can be things like enforcing community circles in a space, and listening and responding to students and staff voices, so making sure that everyone is responsive to and responsive and heard and listened to. Yeah, next slide, please. Okay, yeah, and this is my last slide, just to say that I have made a relational approach toolkit, and this is for anyone to use, whether they are in education or organizations, and it's for people to help restructure their space and work more relationally and have more of a relational approach. It's really amazing what transformation can happen from this in these spaces. So I really think that all collective spaces need to do this work, because positive relationships equal community, stronger outcomes, and better futures. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Billy, for your wonderful presentation. Now we are going for our next presentation by Mary Twittis. Sorry if I have pronounced wrong. She holds a degree of Bachelor of Arts with Education from Mankere University and is a passionate educator. She believes in solving problem from roots to prevent recurring mistakes. She also serves as a co-host in the Relation and Inclusive Education GAC 2023. Though her experience as an educator, she realized that learners need more than theoretical curriculum content to prepare for sustainable lives and responsible citizenship. She aimed at ending dependency syndrome in young generation and believes in job creation. This presentation indicates registered progress to the target goals. Over to you, Mary.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sakish. Thank you so much, everyone who has presented already. Thanks to all the participants on the call. Yeah, so as Sakish introduced me, I'm Mary Twetese. My surname really needs practice. I may send you a voice recording for it later. Yeah, so that's my learning question. How can we integrate lifelong skills in the instruction process to prepare learners for a sustainable future? Yeah, I came up with this learning question because I'm working in the education sector. I'm into the non-government organizations and I basically work with schools. Yeah, and I realized that in most cases, in most of our Ugandan schools, they focus much more on the theoretical content of the curriculum, which was obviously drafted by the National Curriculum Development Center of Uganda. And in most cases, just like how Billy put it, it just focuses on passing exams. So everyone studies just to finish get a job and not caring about which type of job, who is going to create that for them. So I came up with this learning question because I wanted children, I wanted the young generation to at least complete the first level of education, which is primary 7 here, when they have a skill, when they have a lifelong skill, hands-on skill that they can use to sustain their lives, their families, and not just focus on, job seeking. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yes. So after coming up with that learning question, I held several parents teachers meeting in the schools I work in. So that's one of them. There you can see me. I'm on the extreme end, the extreme right there. So all those some of them are teachers of the school. I just used a sample. Some of them are parents. So we're talking about this initiative. How can we introduce it in our rural underserved schools? Provide learners with hands-on skill that they can use to sustain their lives. Next slide. Yes, so I'm there also with those two young adolescents. Yeah, so I began now forming clubs, which I called the informed choice generation, because I want a generation that really focuses on making informed decisions. And obviously, I have been having mentorship sessions with them in schools I go to. So these learners actually tell me what they would love to, the skills they would love to learn. We have so far had like 3 different skills: that's shoemaking, liquid soap, reusable pads, and more other skills. And they all come from these learners themselves. So I began now forming clubs, helping these schools, of course, with the help of the school management committee, the school administration, the parents themselves. So they really embraced the idea. So that's the club. We elected the club members. Yeah, those are club leaders now. You can see a boy and a girl, and yeah, those are our t-shirts of the club. Yeah, and we are proceeding. Next slide. Yes. So that was one of the events after launching that club, Informed Choice Generation Club. Yeah, we celebrated success, and that was just the beginning, because as I talk to you right now, the schools are opening next Monday, and we are already making plans of how to make this as a greater success, how to even partner with other organizations that provide hands-on skills, always come into these schools, talk to the administration and see how to really instill these skills into learners so they can also be part, of the change they want to see. Be part of, income generating projects in their communities, and not only focus on learning to pass exams, but focus on ending the dependency syndrome that has really been in our Ugandan rural communities for so long. And in relation to inclusive education, I look at inclusivity as removal of all barriers that hinder success, enabling people to have a sense of belonging. Because in these schools, I realized that although they are government-aided schools where children don't have to pay much, most of them actually can't even afford scholastic materials, and that makes them feel like they don't belong. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say, if at least your parents cannot afford even scholastic materials, learn this skill so you can actually have an income and provide them yourself. So you can stay in school, yes, learn, yeah, yes, the real curriculum content, pass both the exams and acquire sustainable skills at the same time. Yeah, next slide. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm going to put my email in the chat below if you want to reach out. Yeah, I'm there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary, and we congratulate you for your success. Now, next we have Thomas Jishna, an activist based in Zambia, who will be sharing his presentation, which will explore empowering youth for peace. Over to you, Thomas.
Oh, Thomas, we can't hear you very well. I'm wondering if you maybe.
Am I audible enough?
Yes, a lot better. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So my project is called Conflict Resolution in Primary Schools, Empowering Youth for Peace. So I think we all have suffered conflict issues in one way or the other. But the truth is, in some areas, conflict is worse, while in other areas it's not that much. It's mild. But I've discovered that in my country we've had the conflict cases rise. This is attributed to the issue of the government scrapping off the free education. So that means schools are overcrowded, classes are overcrowded. So next slide, please. So just some sentences about my background. I'm Thomas Chisha, dedicated to enhancing youth well-being and community cohesion in Zambia as a community mobilizer and advocates. I aim to address conflicts affecting our youth. Next, please. So this project is led by Relational and Inclusive Peace Education, GSC, and other stakeholders, which seeks to integrate the effective conflict resolution strategies into the primary school curriculum. The reason for why I say this is because I've gotten guidance and feedback from my GSC, which has been so helpful from the time I started the project to up to this time. So I appreciate that. Next. So my learning question is, how can the integration of resolution strategies into school curricula foster peace and understanding among primary school students? Then I have two shadow questions or key questions that I delved into over the past months, which number one is, what are the root causes of conflict in schools? Then number two is, how can primary school students effectively manage to create a safe learning environment? There is a saying that today's children are tomorrow's future. So my project is mainly focusing on young ones because in some time to come, there will be our future leaders. So if we don't build the proper foundation for them, that means we'll have very bad leaders. So next, please. So supported by Y, I conducted comprehensive interviews with teachers, parents, and other professionals, and also conducted research on the internet to delve into the causes of conflicts and the impact of potential conflict resolution strategies. So these are some of the insights that I've gotten. Like for example, the first one is academic and extracurricular competition can escalate conflicts when students feel threatened or unfairly treated. This was a view by a primary school teacher by the name of Macrin Chamoa in my community. Then another point which I noted was tribalism often exacerbates conflicts as students from different tribes may view each other as outcasts. This was a view by Bonganirunya Yari Cohort 18 alumni. Then the last point is the economic disparities contribute to conflicts with students from affluent families, sometimes exhibiting superiority over their peers. This was a view by Maringose Sakala, Giving Tuesday Zambia coordinator. So next, please. So I also got some feedbacks and some of the resolutions some of the resolution strategies to conflict. So like the first one is role playing and simulations. So engage students in role playing scenarios to practice conflict resolution. This hands-on approach helps students to apply what they've learned in real life. So this is a view by the aforementioned teacher by the name of McLean. Then we have another, the second point is one function of education is to teach young people basic skills in subjects such as reading, writing, and mathematics that will help them throughout their lives. We must also educate our students about effective ways to resolve conflicts that will confront them. Conflict management skills help prepare students for life's challenges. The resolution of conflicts is indeed the fourth R of 1990s and beyond. This was a view by Teddy Sanders, Superintendent of Public Instruction of Ohio Department of Education, in the demonstration project of conflict management skills in 1990 in the state of Ohio. Then another point that I gathered is if students don't learn to manage conflict, which is inevitable, they will not be able to attend to most important things in their lives. This was a view by some middle school teacher. Then the last but not the least, another point is, which was very vital in my research, was conflict is natural. It can be seen as either negative or as a set of opportunities. This was remarked by some of the parents that I interviewed. So next, please. So I've had a very big challenge in my country because of being hit by cholera outbreak. So that means schools were pushed back by, I think, 3 weeks. So they are yet to open on the 12th of February 2024. So despite the challenges that I faced and also the financial difficulties, I at least devised a demonstration project aiming at training 20 students in effective conflict resolution strategies. Some of the approaches that I would focus on are one, I think mediation approach, classroom approach, and comprehensive approach. So initially, I was targeting one primary school. The project aims to expand pending available funding. So the last slide, please. So my conclusion is conflicts in schools are natural but manageable. So this pilot project I aspire to equip students with skills needed to resolve conflict peacefully. So for potential partnerships or just any additions or donations to this initiative, you can reach me on WhatsApp +260 965 6000752 or email chishathomas30@gmail.com. Thank you so very much for your support and consideration.
Wow, Thomas. Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. Let's give Thomas some love. We know what you're going, well, yeah, I can't imagine what you're going through at the moment in terms of the cholera outbreak. So really honoring your time here and sharing with us. Thank you. Okay, and now we're going to transition to, I think it's our second last presentation, and it's going to be presented by Michael Leo. Michael Leo is a passionate professional with a versatile background in education, communications, and community development, committed to driving positive change and implementing impactful initiatives. Michael's presentations will explore unveiling his mission in Tanzania, empowering students with impactful peace education, fostering empathetic leaders committed to cultivating harmony and conflict resolution within the nation. Michael, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. So during this journey, my learning question was, how does education contribute to creating a more peaceful society? So that was my learning question that I was trying to dig deep into it and come up with a project to implement in my community. Next. Next slide. Okay. The origin of the creative idea was inspired by recognizing the education's pivotal role in shaping behaviors. And also the insights from youth activists enriched the concept, incorporating practical strategies for peace education, ensuring global relevance. Yeah, so that was the origin of the creative idea. Next. Yeah, so the project that I did as a pilot was having a vision and a mission. And the mission was empowering students with the knowledge and the skills needed for peace building and peacekeeping through engaging and informative educational workshops. And also the vision was to cultivate a generation of young leaders who actively contribute to a harmonious and peaceful society by fostering understanding, empath, and conflict resolution skills acquired through our educational workshops in schools. And I had 3 objectives. The first one was to equip students with the practical peace building skills through interactive workshops. And the second objective was to raise awareness about the importance of fostering peace within school and communities. And also the third one was to inspire a sense of responsibility among students to actively contribute to peacekeeping efforts in their broader society. So those are the 3 objectives of the project. Next. Yeah, so in doing this project, I had to do some of the activities, and one being the educational program in schools, where I was able to conduct 2 educational workshops in 2 secondary schools here in Mwanza district, especially in the Sengerema, in Mwanza region, especially in the Sengerema district. And where I was able to teach students about peace building and peacekeeping. And you can see the photo of students where I was facilitating a session on peace building in Sengerema district. Next. Yes, so these are some of the photos that were taken during the educational programs in schools. Next. Yeah, so due to that, I had some impacts, and the impact were as follows. I was able to conduct 2 educational workshops in 2 different schools, and also I reached over 1,500 students, both boys and girls, were positively impacted through the program. So this was a summary of the impact that I made in my project. Next. Yeah, asante sana. That is a Swahili word, means thank you. Thank you everyone for listening. Yep.
Hello. So let's give some love and let's give some claps and let's give some a virtual hug to Michael. As now we move to our next presentation, that is our last presentation, which is being done by Richmond Kaba, a dedicated woman, a youth, and a girl right activist. She serves as the Executive Director for Community Actions for Sustainable Development, passionately working toward positive social change in Syria. Lena, Richmond's presentation on peace and education, inclusive education. Richmond Kaba delves into the transformative potential of mobilizing men and boys in rural settings to act as the advocate and protectors, aiming to create a safer environment for women and girls. Let's have a look into her presentation.
Mm, Can I please share, because like I made to understand that the presentation I share with the one who collected the presentation was the wrong one, but I want to share from my end. I don't know whether that will be fine for you.
Perfect. We can see it. Thank you, Richmond. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so thank you very much. For the last couple of months, my learning questions have been What if we mobilize men and boys in rural settings to safeguard women and girls against violence? In Sierra Leone, with the populations of 8.7 million people, with 49.9% of women and 50.1% of men, out of this population, 60% of, girls above 15 years have experienced violence, while 61% of women who are married have also experienced violence relating to physical, sexual, and emotional. As a result of this, I want to understand how peace, relational, and inclusive education will enhance women and girls' empowerment relating to educations. Of course, peace in relation to inclusive educations is a harmonious, actually coexisting relationship. It brings, peace and foster connections. When gender issues are being addressed, it creates up fear and it allows diversity in educations. Why do we think actually engagement is important in preventing violence? Of course, in Africa settings, we have seen how men power is actually being overshadowed, against women and girls. So as a result of that, with different perspectives and cultural beliefs, relating to male euphemism is creating a bigger barriers, in education, acquirements for women and girls. So what are the strategies we've been using during this period? Of course, I've been using a number of strategies. One have been community engagement, for people to understand why it's important for women and girls to also be given equal opportunity like boys and men. Of course, formation of husband school, we want to change the trajectory of how men thought about themselves and how they actually handled women. So as a result of this, we have been forming, piloting husband school where I bring together, married men, they engage themselves and, and bringing and trying to actually put, punishment against their own individual behaviors against women and girls. The other strategies actually I've been using have been the formation of boys club in school and community. We want to break the chain of transformations, how, and boys, are giving orientation from homes and school about their status as boys. When this culture is not break out, definitely they will grow up as men and continue, repeating the same thing like the way how the bigger ones are doing today. Of course, we also believe in the partnership building with community people, with stakeholders, with law enforcement bodies and other agencies. Of course, advocacy for policy transformations has been another very good approach. How does this actually contribute? We believe that for the pilots that we have done, it encourages inclusiveness, it encourages diversity, it encourages equity, it encourages access, it also encourages social cohesion, empowerment, and cultural sensitivity. So these are some of the things we have been actually facing. So within this time frame, we have actually been with a GSA. These are some of the things that we're doing, like formation of the school club. You are seeing me standing right in the classroom. You see here, we are seeing like male engagement. This is the husband school. Of course, this is the support we have started giving to young girls, young boys who have really been marginalized. Some of them you are see they are boys. But why are they boys? Because of the conflict their families have had with their with their father. So they have been a neglect. As a result of this, we identified this as most vulnerable and we started giving them educational support. So going forward with say, we want to see how we can remain connected, with all family members at the end of the day, doing cross-border projecting and also collaborating together to see how we can share idea and transfer, initiative from one country to the other. So I thank you very much. I thank you so much. That's enough of my presentations. If you have anything you want us to collaborate with me, you can find my address and my email address, richmondkabada@yahoo.com. I will drop it on the chat button. Thank you very much.
Hi. Oops, sorry, I thought I was muted. Thank you so much, Richmond. Yeah, that was wonderful. Just noting that you're still sharing your screen. But thank you so much. Let's give Richmond some reactions, some love, for his wonderful project. And now, as we close off presentations, I think if we just take a moment for all of us to just celebrate the last 5 months. We are here, we've gone through this JAC journey, we've gone through what is, what if, and what now. Incredibly proud to be a part of this cohort and thankful. So yeah, just some love if we can show, just honoring all of the work. Even Luna's here to say hi. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So now we have a bit of time for any reflections, verbal reflections, or questions that anybody has around projects that were shared, learning questions that were shared. Yeah, if anybody has any arising questions for anybody, now is the time. You can have a few moments to think, maybe a question hasn't come to you, or maybe you just want to say, like, that you were moved by a presentation. I know I definitely was moved by every presentation and just the weaving of your learning questions. Yeah. I see Billy says in the chat.
Yeah, I can share some thoughts, I guess. So I guess again, congratulations to everyone who has presented. All of you guys are amazing, and I'm just excited to what more your projects can bring to the world. But I guess if there is a project that I really am interested in, that would be Richmond's project. It's very interesting to see an initiative where we talk about gender-based violence, but educating those who are usually the perpetrators in that kind of situation. And it is very important to be more inclusive in that category, that we also let men talk about or be more aware of the actions or why these things are happening. And I'm just really excited as to what more it'll bring. And I mean, I just hope that in the future there would be more awareness as to how and why these kinds of violence are happening. And hopefully, no more violence in the future. Thank you.
Really holding that and sending that wish out into the world, April. April is a wonderful host. Had the privilege of hosting alongside April. So thank you for sharing, and definitely resonate with what you shared about Richmond's project. Would anybody else like to share their reflections or questions?
I really would love to. I hope you can hear me. Yes,
we can.
Actually on the screen you can see Ruthin, but he's not the one speaking. This is Rogers. And I'm very glad to hear the different presentations, and they're so lovely. And I'm taking this moment to really appreciate the effort, the time, the energy, the enthusiasm that people have really put into the presentations and the great ideas that have really come from a learning question to something touchable, doable, and something we can see. This is the spirit that we need to see in the world. This is the spirit that every young has to impress in the world. And I'm very glad that it has come. And this is the time that we are now showcasing, we are showing what we've done so far. And this makes me proud. And not only me, the world is proud of you guys for the different soul, the different ideas to save, to have a better world, that everyone will access the best education that they deserve. So this is what we need. And of course, through this platform, like I just want to also say thank you to the Y by Y for the opportunity that it has really given to young people like me and you to come again together and generate such ideas from the scratch, from ideating stage to something that will impact maybe kids' education or community engagement. It's something I'm proud of, and I'm like, this shouldn't stop here. Let's that very young youth who's out there also be part of this great family. It's a pleasure, and I'm glad that people have really given themselves some good time to work on their learning questions up to today. It has been a very long journey, 5 months of coming on screen, ideating, thinking of what can work. Now, eventually, we are here. We are showing the world what we are doing. It's something I'm proud of, and that's how I'm ending up. Thank you very much.
Rogers, that has just landed and touched my heart, and I'm sure it's touched all of our hearts. Thank you so much for sharing those kind words. We are grateful for your support. We are grateful for you being here. I believe you're joining from the Naki Valley local hub, yeah, if you're with Rufin. So thank you so much. Really, yeah, grateful for all you shared, and I'm definitely feeling inspired. Yeah, really grateful to have you with us. And yeah, to have you as an incredible young person. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I see Richmond saying these words are solid and motivational, definitely. So, yeah, not to move from that too fast. Oh, go ahead, level. Perfect timing.
Hi guys, awesome presentation and well done everyone. I just wanted to also point out that it's not the end of the journey. Yeah, the learning festival, the Global Action Circle program has come to like an end, but each journey is peculiar. To you, it might just be the beginning of a new phase entirely. So the word I'm just giving out here is to like still trust the process. And to some of you, it still seem like, okay, there's still a big thing you still need to do, like you've not yet hit the mark of what you want to achieve. But it's not the end of the journey for a lot of people. That's what I sense here. And the dedication and the motivation and all you need can still be found in community. And one thing I was emphasizing is that still stay close to the community, live by the community. That's our platform and take part of the community. And I have a question for Rachel. I really love the chalkboard. Is it a chalkboard project? I don't remember the word chalkboard. Yeah. I really want to know, how do you, is there any plan to implement the curriculum for students? Well, I mean students for out of school students, yeah, that's the word. Is there any plan to implement curriculum for out of school students that are not sort of connected to the four walls of a school or like a structured academic setting? Or is there any plan to reach out to those kind of people, those demographics? Thanks. Well, kudos everyone.
Kindly repeat your question. You are breaking at the last bit.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so my question is the chalk board project. I understand that you have like a curriculum or two kits. My question is there any plan to reach out to students or teachers that are not really connected to like a structured academic system, more like a school setting?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Is there any plan to reach out to out of school children? Probably
Yeah,
like
thank you so much. Yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah, I've got your question and thank you so much. Yeah, so actually this week I've been able to visit one of the IDP camps, and in that IDP camps we have teachers who have been displaced and also the students. So we were reaching out to those teachers so that we can train them and then just have a temporary space whereby they can assemble those kids and teach with the structured chalkboard guides that we will have printed it. So what we are doing, we are going to those camps and looking for also the teachers who have been displaced, because it's not like possible to get teachers maybe from formal schooling and then taking them to the camps. So if the teachers who are displaced to help those students who are there. Yeah.
Awesome, amazing. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Bolabo, for your reflections, and Rachel, yeah, for your answer to that question. Bolabo is also a host or a host ally, actually. So appreciating you as well, Bolabo. Richmond, do you want to go ahead? And then Sakshi, I saw your hand up. I'm not sure if you want to add anything, but go ahead, Richmond.
Yeah, so thank you very much for all of us who have made it to this point today. Although there have been some numbers of obstacles along the way, but for the motivations and the teamwork, we have been able to reach to the point where we are today. So I thank everyone. But this is not the end. Today is not the end. United Nations, which we are all proud of today, started with few people, and it expanded to the level where it is today as a result of continuity. Now that we have moved 5 months completely, today we have presented all our ideas, and those ideas cannot actually be scaled up if we fail to move with persistency and courage. Then at the same time, I want to really commend all of you who initiated this idea. But now we are going. My question here is this: how are we going? Because these are larger, this is a very big project. The things that is happening here in Sierra Leone is happening in Uganda, is happening in every other part of the world. But we have brought up, different perspective, different initiative. This is just the starting. Where are we heading for? Are we going to live the way how we are now to start continue working as individual? Or what is the next phase of this project? That is my question.
Thank you, Richmond, for that question. And I think to first of all say to guests who are joining the showcase, those who are not in the GAC, I'd like to first say if you would like to connect with the work that has been showcased, a few people have linked their email addresses or numbers, but if someone showcased and you didn't catch that, please email community@youthxyouth.com, and I can connect you with the person showcasing to really just ensure that the connections made go further than this breakout room. And then Richmond, for your question in regards to our GAC, I think that in a formal way, in terms of the actual GAC, the 5 months does end but that doesn't mean that the relationships we formed with one another, and the friendships, actually the family that we've created, that doesn't go away. And so I really think that, yeah, we are all very deeply connected from this moment on because of this journey, this 5-month journey that we've been on. And that means that if you are keen for collaboration, we so invite you to do so, and to kind of to invite that collaboration on. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Awesome. Sakshi, I saw that you had your hand up. I'm not sure if you would like to share.
I would like to share something. Not I would like to ask a question, but I would like to share something. I would like to say thanks to every person from over here, especially you, Mohini. You have been one of the biggest supporter. You supported me in the MC scribe while presenting. You supported me while I was tensed. April as well. She is one of the best person, the bubbly person that I've ever met. And my very first friend, my buddy from our group, that is Rachel. She has been one of my biggest supporter. Any issue, anything, I'll just go out, I just message her, bro, I need your help. And she's like, bro, just say I'm gonna make changes in my schedule as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you for your support. And I hope that we could have this relationship in future as well. That's it.
Thank you, Sakshi. And I feel like on that note, because I know we're going to close very soon, I'd like to just maybe, yeah, I'm trying to think of like a graduation. I know that doesn't really work, but just to go through everyone's names and to be grateful and honor all of you and all of your work. And let's like do celebrations. Let's unmute. Let's like really make it something beautiful. So I'm going to start. Okay. Lily Turner. Woohoo! Thomas. Woo! Thomas.
Amazing.
April Garcia. Woo! April. Oh my God. Mary Tweety. Woo!
Mohini!
Mohini! Woo!
That's the girl.
Olavo Adion. Woo!
Yeah.
Olavo. Sabrina Santos.
Rachel!
Fahana Ahmed.
Hey.
Rachel Vici.
Ciao.
Richmond Rima. Woo! And Sakshi.
Yay.
Well done,
Thank you.
everyone.
Guys, let's have a small photo
Congrats,
shoot. What do you
everyone.
say?
Don't forget us, please. Roofing, hey, some noise.
Let's switch on our cameras. Let's have a small photo shoot as a last meet.
Power
What do you
up,
say?
power up, power up.
Yes, can
Power
everyone?
up.
Can everyone
We'll do it quickly because we've not got a lot of time.
Mary, Sabrina, okay, awesome. Ah,
I think a photo would make sense. What do you think, guys?
I have, well, okay, I've taken like 10 photos, so we should be good. Okay,
What
thank you
an amazing moment.
so much in love.
In the main room.
Bye.